It's official. The Federal Reserve has started to raise interest rates. And if you don't have your money in these three assets, you're going to get left behind. But before we go into the specifics of today's video, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Naim. Hope you're doing well. Now, here's what's happening. According to a recent report from CNBC, millionaires around the world are going all in on U.S. real estate because they believe that America is poised to explode in the next 12 months. We all know that inflation is burning cash. We all know that currencies are crashing. And we all know that political chaos is spreading fast. So they're moving their money into American homes. The reality is, US real estate prices are still rising at record levels. They've increased nearly 20% over the last 2 years. It's clear that not even high interest rates can slow down this market. However, there are some secrets that only insiders know about. Once you understand them, it'll be easier for you to invest and build wealth faster. First, let me show you how foreign billionaires are buying up U.S. real estate. Now, it's no secret that since the pandemic began, the ultra-rich have been investing heavily in property. Why? Well, last year there was an increase in migration around the world, and people with the means to do so fled to safer countries. In fact, the number of millionaires leaving China reached an all-time high. That's right. Last year alone, more than 88,000 rich Chinese fled to the United States, while 64,000 moved to Australia and 40,000 went to Canada. In addition to that, we're seeing a lot of international buyers purchasing properties in the U.S. Here's what I mean. In Miami, 30% of luxury home sales were to foreign buyers. In Los Angeles, 47% of properties sold to international investors. And in New York, foreign buyers accounted for 26% of the market. So clearly, U.S. real estate is becoming very attractive to those who want to diversify their investments. However, we're also seeing a big shift happening within the U.S. where domestic buyers are beginning to buy second homes. This is a trend that has been overlooked by most Americans. But when you look at the data, it becomes pretty clear. Since the pandemic, the wealthy have been buying vacation homes at unprecedented levels. And most of them are located in Florida, Idaho, and Montana. So what does this tell us? Well, these purchases are usually made in cash. And the wealthy aren't taking out mortgages because they already own other properties and they don't want to add more debt. These homes are being used as safe havens, places where they can go to escape economic turmoil. But here's the thing. The rich aren't the only ones making these types of purchases. Middle-class Americans are starting to follow suit as well. So here's what's happening. People are living longer, which means they have more time to travel and enjoy their lives. They're also working from home now, so they don't need to live in expensive cities anymore. And that's why we're seeing an increase in vacation home purchases across all income brackets. According to the Wall Street Journal, middle-class Americans are looking for properties outside of the U.S. as well. Places like Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama are becoming very popular, and here's why. If something happens in America and the dollar collapses, people will still want to be able to move around freely. But before we continue, let me ask you a question. What would you do if you had $1 million to invest? Let me know in the comments section below. Personally, I would invest in index funds and real estate. But if I lived in South America or Eastern Europe, I would definitely consider diversifying my portfolio with U.S. real estate. That's exactly what El Salvador has done. In September 2021, the country adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, and recently, its president has been buying up millions of dollars worth of property in America. He said that he wanted to build a new life in the U.S. for his family in case something happens to El Salvador. Here's the problem. Us. Many governments around the world are struggling to keep their populations happy. And that's why you're seeing so many people leave. Take Venezuela, for example. Their economy has collapsed and millions of people have fled to neighboring countries. As a result, Colombia has become one of the largest recipients of Venezuelan immigrants. Well, guess what? The Colombian peso has lost 99.9% of its value over the last 10 years. So those same Venezuelans are now looking to leave. And where are they going? Mostly to the United States. They're working hard, saving their money and buying properties all over the country. The same thing is happening in countries like Lebanon, Argentina, Turkey, Cuba, and Haiti. Millions of people are leaving because they want a better life for themselves and their families. And where are they going? It's mostly to the United States. It's important to note that US real estate has been appreciating in value for decades. Sure, there have been some crashes along the way, but in the long run, prices have consistently gone up. In fact, since 1920, the average annual appreciation rate has been 3.8%. Now, obviously, not every market is going to appreciate at the same rate. Some areas will outperform others. But overall, the U.S. real estate market has been very resilient. And that's why so many foreigners are buying up properties. They want to diversify their portfolios, and they're looking for a safe place to store their money. And let's face it, US real estate is still relatively affordable compared to other countries. So here's the bottom line. We're likely going to see a lot more foreign investment in US real estate over the next few years, and that's good news for everyone involved. If you're a homeowner, it means that your property values will likely go up. And if you're looking to buy real estate, you'll have more options to choose from. However, it is important to do your research and make sure you're getting a good deal before you make any major investments. And look, I get it. It's not always easy to find the best properties, because you need to know where to look and what to look for. But luckily, there are some services that can help you with that. With that said, I want to share with you a little secret that only insiders know about. Here's the truth. If you want to get ahead in life, you need to be willing to take risks. Most people are afraid of failure, so they play it safe. But that's not the way to build wealth. You see, when everyone is selling, that's when the smart money comes in and buys. And when everyone is buying, that's when the smart money starts to sell. It's counterintuitive, but that's the way the market works. And here's the thing. If you want to be successful, you need to learn how to think like the smart money. You need to be willing to go against the crowd and make bold moves when everyone else is afraid. And that's how you get ahead in life. Now, I know this might be hard to hear, but the truth is, 99% of people will never achieve financial freedom. They work hard their entire lives and still end up broke because they're not willing to take risks. The reality is, most people don't want to be the smartest person in the room. They want to fit in and be liked. But if you want to be successful, you need to be willing to stand out from the crowd. You need to be different. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be easy. There will be times when you feel like giving up. Trust me, I've been there myself. But if you really want to be successful, you need to push through those tough times and come back even stronger. I'll tell you something that has helped me a lot in my life. When I was younger, I used to think that success was all about money. I thought that if I became a millionaire, then I would finally be happy. But I was wrong. The reality is, money doesn't buy happiness. In fact, I can say from experience that it is much harder to be a millionaire and be happy than it is to be broke and be happy. Why? Because when you have money, everyone wants something from you. Your friends, family, coworkers, even strangers on the street, they're all coming up to you asking for money. And it can become very draining. The truth is, the more money you have, the more problems you'll have.
Ow.
So if you're not careful, you can end up losing everything. That's why it's so important to have a strong support system. You need to have people in your life who love you for who you are, not for how much money you have. You see, when you have true friends, they won't ask you for money. They'll ask you for advice. And that's how you know you're on the right path. So here's my advice to you. Don't be afraid to take risks. Be willing to go against the crowd and make bold moves. And most importantly, surround yourself with people who love you for who you are. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it has been helpful to you. If it has, I would appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up. Also, please feel free to share any thoughts or comments you may have. I would love to hear from you. Finally, if you haven't already done so, I invite you to subscribe. Hope you have a great day and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.